So yeah, it's been a while since we have done a video.
On day one,
to the Grand Canyon.
on day one of our trip to the Grand Canyon,
Let's talk.
we drove to Shamrock, Texas, praying that God would direct us. We went basically on Route 66.
That was
Route
fun.
66.
That was cool. Until you
Yeah, it
found
was.
like some really rocky road. It's not rocky. The road just, there are areas of the roads that weren't well maintained. So by the time you got to a certain point, it's like,
Sure.
Yeah.
But we just stopped where he said to stop and drove when he said to drive, and that was the route he said to take. And it was sort of a birthday trip, so it was kind of the scenic route.
Birthday trip for me. It was my 33rd, something like that. But we found this at Shamrock. We drove until almost after 11 that
Yeah,
night,
it was
I
late.
think. And we met this nice Indian guy who has, he's a lovely guy. His motel is pretty okay, I guess. It was like,
Ringing endorsement.
It's okay, but he's nice. The guy is really nice.
He's ready to retire.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And then we went on to New Mexico, where God, was just, I mean, he was faithful, because one of the things I was worrying about when we left also was, will I have the space and the time to have the cars? Like, how will I fit the cars into all this travel, etc.? And he got us to a Taco Bell parking lot in time for my Pink Flamingo University call that Thursday, which was really nice.
The Taco Bell parking lot was really nice.
Well, the call was really nice.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yep.
Taco Bell, I was just grateful for internet except for the time
Right.
it dropped.
Right.
And then the bathroom after that. But it was just nice to see that God was faithful in his promise, that things would be okay from that standpoint.
There was a lot about this trip that was kind of contradictory almost, or paradoxical, I guess is a better word, because God's taking us on a trip to enjoy the scenery, basically. And he told us explicitly, I'm going to run you out of money. And we said, okay. This was the some trust in chariots, some trust in horses. You trust in Capital One, but you're going to depend entirely on me. This was the method for doing that.
Yeah.
And even in that, he blessed us with seeing beautiful things. And we were fed and covered the entire time. And we met wonderful people on the way.
Yeah.
So it was just I don't know. It was God glorifying himself over and over and over. We were concerned, and we kept almost falling back into the trying to game the system sort of attitude, that trying to stretch every dollar. And he just kept reminding us, like, is this the cheapest gas that we'll find? Is this...
I'm me. That was me. I was the one who kept looking at every gas station and feeling so disappointed when I realized, oh, we passed a gas station that had a cheaper price. Or maybe we should wait. Maybe there's a cheaper one coming up. And he's like, yep, that's the one you stop at. And I mean, there's a phrase that talks about the only way to find out what is truly within a person is to put them in a situation that allows that, whatever is inside them, to bubble up. Something around that. And for me, it's...
What kind of juice comes out of a carrot when you squeeze it?
Yes. And so for me, this was stepping into the fire for me. This was definitely a space where I realized I did not trust God. I did not trust God with my money within this context. Not when I did not have a backup. Not when I did not have a plan, because I always have multiple backups financially and so forth. And that was really hard. And so, I mean, during that, it was God teaching us step by step. Like, let me order your steps each day. I'll tell you when to call in and renew the car, extend the car rental. I will tell you where to stay. I will tell you what to spend the money on, even when you're trying to not spend it because you're trying to stretch it, and so forth. And man,
He really drove home the point. This is his resources, not our resources.
mm-hmm.
Everything in the earth is the Lord's.
Yeah, and we can trust him. That's the
Yeah.
thing for me. It was about learning to trust him and seeing him as my father, in this area. And so we
It was pretty weird driving to the Grand Canyon, extending the car one day at a time, using the method Yvonne had showed us the day before we left, and not knowing, okay, Lord, how are you going to handle this drop fee when it's time to
go back.
drop off the car
Mhm.
here in Arizona. And
We thought it was going to be dropped off in Arizona. Fun.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead, baby.
Oh no, I didn't have a punchline anyway. I wasn't saving up for anything. You didn't spoil it at all. So we the day we stayed in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We spent the night there and got to see our friend Jake Hadler. Hey Jake.
I love you. And thank you for the tea.
And-
Loved it.
And that morning we were about to leave, late
That's a-
checkout, of course.
That's the morning of my birthday.
Yep, that's the 17th. And so Jody called from Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
And
friend
this
we
was the
saw in-
same friend that we saw in Independence who gave us a word. And he said, hey, pray about this because this is something God's put on my heart. I think y'all are supposed to come stay with us. And I said, huh, okay, we'll pray. And God didn't tell us the answer. But it was on the table, and I felt an instant relief
I did too.
when he said that, because we didn't know what we were doing. And so, there's a plan. He said there would be a place to stay, there would be a car and gas, and they'd buy us food. So it was like, oh, what more could we possibly ask for? Obviously, we should ask God.
Obviously,
should ask God.
should ask God.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we did, and he didn't give us the answer right away. But we drove on to Flagstaff.
Before we get to Flagstaff, I want to point out there for me as well that it was a relief for me knowing that even if
God's plan didn't work out, we still had a good backup.
And it's not just a backup. It's about that we could trust him. It was a reminder for me that I needed that morning, because I was already thinking, Lord, where are we going to go? Where are we going to stay? Like, when we're on the bridge, or we're on the verge of running out of money. Like, it was nice to know that he remembered us.
We needed a lot of reminders. We got to Flagstaff, and we really didn't know. Are we going to get stuck halfway to the Grand Canyon? Is this going to work out? That day, we didn't know how we were going to afford the hotel, right?
The Flagstaff, it was coming back.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll get to that another time then.
Yeah, but it was that day that the first
What
credit
day?
card ran out. The 17th.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was it. We got to Flagstaff, and the hotel clerk said just over and over as we were checking in, this place is so expensive.
Oh, yeah.
It's so ridiculously expensive. Everything here is so expensive. You have to go 150 miles to get anything that's not expensive.
And I mean, that was already piling on to the anxiety I was feeling around finances and all of that stuff. And so it's no wonder when we checked in and God was saying to me, trust me, you can trust me, you can trust me. I finally said, God, I don't trust you with this. And it was kind of like I just started pulling up all of these evidence over my life for the first 20 odd years of my life, where I'm like, God, where were you when this was happening? Where were you when that was happening? Etc. Etc. And I remember as I'm sitting here, it was like a level of honesty. It's like, God, I don't trust you. Like, I trust you in other areas around financial things, but I don't trust you in this context. And I remember so I cried that night.
She couldn't handle going to the Grand Canyon that day, and it turned out to be a really good thing that we decided to go the day after her birthday, because that gave us 6 hours of the Grand Canyon, which we really, really wanted.
Enjoyed.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, but the morning the morning after my birthday, I woke up and I was like, God, I don't know what to do with this. Like, you're telling me to trust you, but I don't know what to do. And he showed me how all the situations that I had brought up to him the night before, where I was saying, God, you weren't there. I was the one who had to figure it out and depend on myself and all of that stuff. He just showed me his hand in the middle of all of that. And he was just talking to me about how he values the gift of choice that he has given to mankind. And yet, even within that, as a good and loving father, he still operates within the limits of those choices that we have made. And that was something for me, to actually see that, oh, I got it wrong, Lord. You were there. And it was that day, that morning, I had a new question for him. Like, God, I don't know how to trust you around this. I'm just starting to get my nervous system regulated based on what you have told me. But my father died when I was young. And I don't know how a father operates within a context like this. So teach me. And then we went off to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. I was a bit stressed about the entrance fees to the park. I had found out that sometimes you have to pay $100 extra per person in certain circumstances, and when we got to the park, we didn't have to worry about it. And so that was wonderful. God sent the money just beforehand. I think it cleared that day so that we'd be able to handle it either way. But I was trying to remember, Lord, these are your resources, not ours. This is your money, not ours. I don't feel like we're supposed to waste it, but I understand you're not stressed about it. That was one of the questions for us. But do you think I'm worried? From God, do you think I'm concerned? Do you think I'm worried about this? Oh, right. No, you're not worried. You're not worried. So we went to the Grand Canyon, and we went to 5 different lookout points, and it was astonishing. It was just, the pictures can't even come close.
And I used my first outdoors toilet out in the wild. That was good. Like, oh my God, we left good toilets to come all the way out here. It's just like,
infrastructure.
But that was our trip to the Grand Canyon.
Yep. We'll tell you about coming back another time.
Yeah, we'll tell you about coming back another time. We love you. Bye.